Okay.
Wow.
Yeah, I'm, I had asked Jamie about this, about how to start the other day, and she said, press record when you get to the screen. Okay.
All right.
So,
Nobody say anything crazy right now.
right. At least
We never said anything crazy.
Except about Fran.
Okay. So to start the meeting, we have under new business the approval of October minutes. Do we have everybody's approval?
I do.
Yeah.
Okay. Now on to old business, the status of the CPC application for Depot Road North.
Yeah, that's that went well as well can be on Thursday, last Thursday.
That's the wrong one. This is the old set. This is the set of lights that was approved last year.
Oh,
You're supposed to be installing this week?
that's Depot Street.
Depot Street.
They're very
Okay.
high. Not Depot Road. I was thinking,
I
okay.
got them all confused.
Easy to get confused. Depot Street, at this point, I haven't seen them installed yet, but I was told the lights are here. The castings have been made. They're ready to install. I don't know if, I know they were going to have the, you know, the people who check for gas and electricity, I'm losing the word. You know, make sure we don't hit lines, you know.
Dig safe.
Dig safe, thank you, that's what it was. So I know either they were gonna have Dig Safe do it, and then they were gonna be, I thought I was gonna see it this week happen. So it's soon to be happening. So we'll get it done before the winter, and if I don't see it within a week, I'll tweet John.
Okay, then on to the next light.
And Depot Road, presentation to the CPC, overall went pretty well. I mean, like I said, Donna had some questions, things that Andrew and I were talking about. I mean, you know, using the April 1st date instead of, probably in the future, I'll use a June date after the town meeting, you know. She was saying can't have a project before the town meeting. She did mention also that she says, how many more lights you got to do? And I said, 4 more. And she thought that we should be telling the town that we're going to have 4 more lights to be installed. And but David basically said at that point, he said, I asked him, you know, do you want me to revise the, you know, the application? And he said, no. He says, I would just leave it as is for now. He said, maybe for the future. But all in all, nobody else had major questions at all. She had most of the questions in play, or so from that perspective, that went well. And then we had the second application. Like I said, some of you didn't know, it came pretty, I should say, late in the application stage, was Chatham is going to also propose this to their CPC, but they want to put a marker in at the OCRT borderline between Chatham and Harwich. And the only thing that Chatham is asking for is half the amount, not to exceed $1,000. And so Chatham is willing to do the procurement, you know, the review of it, receive it. And the only thing that's going to be on our part is they're going to contact Link and get together as to the exact spot where to put it in. And everybody was in favor of that, totally, you know. So I can't see that not being passed at this point.
Is that it?
I think that's about it.
This person by the name of Donna from the CPC, Paul explained to me that she was the one who was responsible for applying for the lights in Brewster, and Brewster went all out. They asked for the money for all of the lights all at the same time. We've been asking one set of lights per year.
Yeah, and I don't know if that's good, bad, or indifferent. Ask for $100 grand and be done with it, you know? And also this particular set of lights, something I forgot to mention, because I picked it up from the previous presenter, was that Depot Street is only going to require the lights themselves, no pre-warning beacons, and that's per Griffin and Sean. And so that saved 12 grand. And I basically said, and then at that point, I asked Sean and Griffin to take a look at Depot Road, because I know that's a long stretch of road right there. And they said, yeah, we won't need it there either. So what I did was I basically told them, you know, last year I asked for 27, this year I'm asking for 15, you know, because we're not going to need the warning beacons. And Donna really still wants, she's got a viable point. There's a lot of people who don't understand these bike crossings, and warning lights, whether it's a straightaway or what, is probably a very good thing to do. I kind of agree with her, you know, but it's, you know, I also got to agree with our engineers whose job is to, you know, make it happen.
Right.
So I tried to ask, I said, okay, well, if I'm saving $12,000 in the approved lights for Depot Street, could I apply that money to Depot Road and almost be a wash, like give or take $3,000 for the ones at Depot Road? And I didn't really get an answer on that. You know, I just said, you know, it's just something to consider, guys. You know, I'm not spending it this year, but, you know, we could just slide the money over the next year. And, but Fran went off, and I mentioned that to Fran. We pulled all the map boxes this weekend, and Fran went off. And maybe you can explain, Fran. You asked someone that used to be on the committee. I'll let you. Yeah.
Okay. So I did ask somebody that was on the committee on a CPC, and he told me that if you don't use the funds or all of your funds in the current year that you have asked for them, you have to return the money. So we couldn't just budget. We had to put in a new application. So we will return the leftover money to the CPC, and we're asking for the same amount of money, almost the same amount of money, for this coming May. It's just that the CPC has so many big projects that they have on their plate. That I don't know whether, or if it makes a difference what we're asking for, such a small amount of money.
Yeah. Compared to like the guy that was in front of me, I mean, it was what, like, give or take $1 million.
Right.
That, you know, in restoration of the building. And it's like, yeah, they're big ticket items, you know, and that's what happened to us last year. I think the playground was like $500,000, and, you know, all of a sudden they ran out of monies, and we didn't even get a chance to be even recognized at that point, even after the presentations and stuff. You know, it was like, okay, we're out of money. Too bad. Next, apply next year.
And I'm sure it can't hurt at this point if we can say, hey, gosh, in the year before, we didn't, you know, use up all our budget. We had, you know, X to Y left over. And what we're asking for this year is this. You know, I mean, it can only help us for the next time, you know.
Yeah, I hope so. Yeah, well, that's why I presented it that way. And the information, the guy before me said something very similar because they didn't use up all their monies, you know, so I figured, well, it's worth a shot.
Yeah. Yeah, nice job, Paul. No doubt. No doubt.
That's all I have about the lights at this point.
And on to the next item on the agenda. I asked everybody to take a look at the OCRT map, and I sent it out, and Charlie was the only one who replied. It's nothing urgent because we're just going to ask Link for the money. We don't need the maps right now, but we'll come March or April, we'll ask Link for the money for a new set of maps. So I'd like to work at it throughout the winter here and get some updates to that map.
Charlie, can you share with us, or Fran?
Yeah, you know, I just thought about adding down at that circle on the north side, just the word Brewster with an arrow, and on the west side, Dennis with an arrow. I can't tell you the number of people you come across and they don't really have a sense when they're down at that circle, well, where would Brewster be or where would Dennis be, you know? So it's just a small addition.
Yes, Rich.
Is it possible to add side trips? I know off the end of the trail, you know, we show a loop in Chatham. So I was thinking we might show a few major side trips like a depot down to Red River Beach, or in Harwich Center up to White House Field. Just, you know, a couple major things, like not everything, but, you know, a couple major routes. And the high school, you know, you come off the bike trail on a special little trail that goes to the high school that then you can then use the high school roads to go to White House Field. Yeah, I think those are the only, those. And anyway, so that's just a possibility. That would be in green, right? We do those in green, the extracurricular routes on the roads. I would put the route that I use all the time, so I'm partial, which is off the end of the trail directly to the fish pier.
Right.
Without having to do the big loop, you know what I mean? It's just a nice little residential road, takes you right to the pier. And that's a very pleasant evening ride we do often. And also thought we might, if that little bike just east of 137, there's that little area where it has the air pump. Chatham must have put that in. Parking area. I don't know if that's really there or not, but you might show that if it is.
You have a copy of the map, so make these notations on the map and, let us know.
Okay. Yeah, I can mark up a map and I'll scan it for you and I'll email it to you.
Okay. Email it to everybody.
Sure. Okay.
Anything else? Do we want to
No.
meet? Go ahead, Paul.
No, I was just going to say, yeah, I'll try to take a look at it for whenever we have our next meeting.
Okay. Do we want to meet in December? Don't everybody speak at once now.
I'm at the North Pole.
The North Pole, wow. Go to Zoom up to the North Pole.
Yeah, really, huh? I don't know, because
Okay, well, we don't need an answer now, I guess. Just let me know by after, by the first week in December, so I can develop an agenda and send it. Because there's an extra step now that you got to send it to the town hall, and then they put in the access codes for you to schedule the meeting, and then you got to send it to Channel 18 so that they can post it on the official Harwich government page.
Okay. I don't know. Is it really? I mean, is it? I guess is it really worth meeting in December?
We won't hear from the CPC before the end of December, right?
Right. Yeah, or early January. But I think they decide by the end of the year. Yeah, I knew that they said at the end of the meeting. I was listening to some of it. It was like they were going to be meeting like every week to make a few of or 2 weeks. They were going to be meeting at least in a row to make these decisions. And then at that point, I should hear something from Jan. So
it probably won't be until after our meeting date.
I agree. Yeah.
Yeah.
Want to just do January?
Yeah.
Sounds good.
Everybody's okay? Yeah. Andrew, you're okay with that? Yeah. Whatever.
Okay.
And I'll do the best I can. Is 4 o'clock too early,
I don't know.
or is 5 o'clock
That's
better?
okay with me.
Does it matter, Fran, with this new setup, what time we start?
No. I was just thinking in case we needed technical help, Jamie or Caleb are there until 4 o'clock. But it went off okay this time,
Yeah.
even though I wasn't here to kick it off.
Maybe that's why it went well.
We,
Good point, Charlie. Good point. Okay, guys. Thank you.
so we're going to keep it at 4?
Yeah,
Put it in the notes at this point.
January.
3rd January, whatever. I'd have to look at my calendar.
20th.
20th?
Yeah. Third Wednesday.
Okay, 4 p.m. And we'll do it in January, guys.
Sounds good.
Okay.
So everybody have a good holiday.
Two.
Yeah, enjoy as best you can anyway.
Stay safe.
Have a good holiday.
Yeah.
Safe, guys. Have a good holiday.